I'm Keith Simonton. Welcome to What to Watch. The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 is the third installment in the Hunger Games series, the popular franchise based upon the books by Suzanne Collins. The first film burst into cinemas in late March of 2012 and became a cultural phenomenon that really has grown ever since. I had an opportunity to travel to the London premiere to talk to the three leads of the film, Academy Award winner Jennifer Lawrence, Josh Hutcherson, and Liam Hemsworth, as well as the rest of this impressive cast, about the making of Mockingjay Part 1. In Mockingjay Part 1, Jennifer Lawrence's character, Katniss Everdeen, has become a symbol of the uprising in the districts against the despotic capital and a priceless propaganda tool for rebel leaders like President Alma, played by Julianne Moore, and Plutarch Heavensbee, played by the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, to whom the film is dedicated. Katniss, though, is torn as Peter Mellark, played by Josh Hutcherson, appears to have become a mouthpiece of the calculating President Snow, portrayed by Donald Sutherland, and the brutal regime of Panem. Outside of the capital, the insurrection rages, and Katniss's old allies, such as Gale, played by Liam Hemsworth, Finnick, played by Sam Claflin, and even Effie Trinket, played by Elizabeth Banks, desperately try to win a revolution with a reluctant, albeit courageous leader in Katniss Everdeen.
Miss Everdeen, prepare to pay the ultimate price.
For President Snow. If we burn, you burn with us.
How have your characters evolved, changed for you and for the audience in this installment?
Well, when we find Katniss, she's shell-shocked, really. She's just kind of completely shut down and lost herself and has to rebuild herself because she woke up in a district she didn't even think existed. She's lost her home, and she's kind of forced into this position to be this leader when she doesn't really feel all she really is focused on is saving Peeta. And then she kind of starts to grow into her voice and grow into her strength and become this leader.
Well, first off, you have to understand that when you're in the games, you only get one wish. It's very costly.
You're alive.
Peeta has gone through a huge change. He's been captured and tortured and brainwashed and injected with track injector venom. Joined Weight Watchers. That's really funny. That's a really funny joke.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And yeah, so he's kind of gone through that, and also he's gone from loving Katniss and fighting for her, and then now being trained through all this brainwashing that she's the enemy, and so that's a huge change for him. Really a 180, I believe. That's what you call the good old 180. Yeah,
backflip.
Exactly.
The beginning of this one, Gale's kind of, he's there to support Gale.
He's there to support himself.
He's there to just support himself.
He's looking out for number one.
Looking out for number one. No, he's just trying to look after Katniss, and she's been through so much, and his kind of motive is just to give her as much support and courage and strength as she needs to become a leader of this rebellion.
What do you hope people take away from Mockingjay?
Well, I think there's a few things going on in here. I think that, one of the big themes that starts to really blossom in this last book, in this last series of movies, is the idea that Suzanne wrote the series for, which is about the consequence of war. And so you get to start to see that facets of that in the characters and how they're responding to their situations and post-traumatic stress, things like that. We also get to see a propaganda war, so we get to see the way people manipulate, the visuals and sell ideas to each other. And there's almost a battle of the airwaves. There's also, Katniss Everdeen sort of decides to take on her role as the Mockingjay and kind of join the rebellion. So there is a sense of hope through all of this, that change can be made. And she actually starts to see that she sort of as a real person and as an individual can affect so many people around her.
How has Snow changed in this period of time?
He's developed naturally in contest with Katniss Everdeen and the oncoming war that they're both about to face. Because it's chess. It's like a chess game. 50 years ago, I was playing chess, and I was able to mate someone with a rook. And I was so excited by that possibility and by that eventuality that my hand was shaking, and my opponent saw it and couldn't figure out what was going to happen. And then it happened. And so that's what it's like with Katniss Everdeen. Every time she does something, something else happens, and it gets a response from me. I want the game to go on as long as it can, and then I will have to kill her. But I don't want to kill her until I absolutely have to.
Can you talk about the role, you're new to this series,
I am
that
new,
President Alma Coyne plays?
In the previous installments, we've learned there's a District 13, that may or may not have existed. And at the beginning of Mockingjay, we learned that they do indeed exist and that they have gone underground. They've been living underground for years, that they've been kind of, destroyed by war, bombs, disease, and famine, but they found a way to kind of eke out an existence underground, and they're waiting for the time, they're waiting for the revolution to begin. And Katniss is the person that they kind of use to spearhead their political revolution.
Does Coyne play a symbolic or thematic role? Like, is she an opposite of Snow?
I think she is, as opposed to, Snow, who's a person of excess and someone who is very externalized in terms of how he speaks and what he wears and how he rules. She's someone who's kind of a minimalistic in her approach, even to the extent that she lacks color, like in her own appearance. She has gray hair and gray eyes and a gray outfit. They live underground. She's incredibly practical. She's very restrained. She speaks very softly. She's someone who seems to be making herself very small in order to survive.
You play an important role in this film as levity and I think, a good counterpoint in many ways. Mm-hmm. But you weren't originally in the book, correct?
No.
So how do they present that to you? Like, by the way.
Nina Jacobson and Frances called and said, we think there's a way for Effie to be in District 13. I was a little apprehensive as a fan of the books myself, and also because I really wanted to make sure we justified the choice to all of the other fans. But then when Suzanne Collins blessed the decision, I never looked back, and I'm really, really grateful to be there and be part of it. And I loved playing a fish out of water, and I loved bringing the history of the relationship Effie has with Peeta and Katniss and the Capitol and all of it into the story. I think it really enriched the overall story.
How has your character changed since we last saw you in Catching Fire? How's Finnick changed?
Probably the most out of any of the characters. We're used to sort of seeing this charismatic, slightly arrogant, charming human being who likes taking his top off, to now this broken human being, this sort of somber, depressive, who's, in his, I suppose, kind of suffering from PTSD. He really is, he's in a dark place. The love of his life has been taken to the Capitol as punishment for his betrayal. He and Katniss kind of share an equal loss, having Peeta taken away. And I suppose they're each other's shoulders to cry on. So for me to kind of revisit a character, but feel like it's a completely new character, was really, it's a treat, I think, as an actor.
Listen to me. No one else can do this but her.
She won't be able to handle it. The game's destroyed her.
We need to unite these people out there. She's the face of this rebellion. They'll follow her.
Film's dedicated to the late Philip Seymour Hoffman, an incredibly talented actor. Do you have a particular favorite memory of working with him? You worked with him quite a bit.
I work with him a lot. He was an extraordinary actor. I think one of the greatest, of my generation, certainly. And it was apparent the minute that he started working. I can remember him actually, and the first time I saw him was in Paul Thomas Anderson's movie Hard Eight, which was the film before Boogie Nights, and he really, really stood out. His voice and his presence and his delicacy and his accuracy of presentation. He was a tremendous, tremendous actor, and it's a great loss.
What is a particularly favorite Jennifer Lawrence memory from this shoot?
From the shoot, geez, she gives me memories all the time. I mean, she's pretty funny. She's pretty fun to be around. She's always joking. God, it's hard to sort of pick something out. I mean, she's a blast every day. I think my favorite thing is probably after the first or second take. On any given day, she just starts to yell lunch. She does. She's just ready for food, and she starts to yell lunch, and we've just started in the morning and have done about 2 takes, and then she just starts to yell out lunch.
Here's the thing. Let me explain something. It is really. You're about to get a compliment, so just brighten up, okay? It's like all day, every day is a great moment. Working with Miss Lawrence. Talk about her mom, of course. No, really, like just it's hard to say like one actual greatest moment because it's like
I totally agree.
Yeah, I thought you might.
I can't really think of any moment where I'm better than the next. I feel like
exactly.
Yeah, she has a great way of just bringing life to the set every day and keeping everyone.
Just the loudest one there.
She's the loudest one there, but it's a good thing. Everyone loves it.
Aww.
Mockingjay Part 1 is every bit as good as its predecessors, as director Francis Lawrence continues to make the stakes and the danger very real. And the performances, particularly Jennifer Lawrence's, continues to make author Suzanne Collins' dystopian world believable. As with the previous 2 films, it is a brutal and bleak world. But it is not without bravery, it is not without self-sacrifice, it is not without humanity, and it is not without hope, which is what makes Mockingjay Part 1 what to watch. Mockingjay opens in theaters nationwide in the U.S. on November 21st. You can find local movie showtimes and buy tickets on imdb.com and our mobile apps.